sent from my soul. There goes a scent, there goes a scent. Now there goes a scent from my soul. There goes a scent from my soul. There goes a scent, there goes a scent. There goes a scent from my soul. I bet it's all angels just walk by. There goes a scent from my soul. There goes a scent, there goes a scent. Now there goes a scent from my soul. There goes a scent. There goes a scent, there goes a scent.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Dr. Kimberly Smith, and I currently serve as the Associate Vice Provost for Student Success here at Virginia Tech. First of all, I'd like to congratulate each of you for receiving your letter of offer for admission to Virginia Tech. We are proud to have you join us as members of the Hokie community. And as a part of that, I recognize that you have lots of questions and possibly need to know more information about what are the services that are available for you here at Virginia Tech. So today I'd like to spend a little bit of time with you sharing some of that information and then ultimately answering any questions that you may have. Student success at Virginia Tech is really a partnership between the student and the university. Therefore, that means that both of us share responsibility for developing strategies and environments to support your success, both inside and out of the classroom. Today, I would like to spend a little time highlighting just a few of the resources available to facilitate your success here at the institution. In the Student Success Center, we provide a number of valuable resources that most students are not familiar with prior to coming to the institution. First, we offer a number of academic excellence programs. Those include peer academic coaching, seminars on academic success, and tutoring. I'll spend just a minute talking about each of those. Sometimes we find that students need a coach. They just need someone to advocate for them and help them to get through issues and concerns on campus. We've also found that peer mentoring tends to be an excellent avenue to accomplish this. Therefore, any student who wishes to have a peer coach can get one assigned. Also, in our seminar series on academic success, we also recognize that some students may need some additional support in terms of time management, note-taking, test-taking, etc. And we offer a number of different workshops throughout the academic year to support students. Lastly, tutoring. I know that you are the best and the brightest in the country, in the world, but believe it or not, we have found that the most successful students at Virginia Tech are those who make use of our tutoring resources. And I know this may sound a little bit strange to you. Most students in high school probably didn't make much use of tutoring. But here, our students are using tutoring to increase their grades. They're already experiencing some level of success, say maybe a C or a B, but they want to get that extra help to earn the A, and so they engage in tutoring. We provide tutoring for students in all of the core subjects that are available. Students simply need to request that tutoring support. Within our Student Success Center, we also provide what are called Embrace VT programs. And these are focused on having academic support, providing academic support to some of our more vulnerable populations at the institution, which could include any range of students, but we also include our underserved and underrepresented students in that population. Lastly, in the Scholars Program, we have a number of students on campus who are receiving scholarship support in pursuit of their academics. We understand that these students sometimes have requirements that they must fulfill, and we also understand that these students may need additional support. So we provide one-to-one programming for these students to help better prepare them to take full advantage of their scholarship opportunities. Another valuable resource that I wanted to tell you about, and one that I believe makes Virginia Tech stand out, is the fact that we provide opportunities for our undergraduate students to engage in undergraduate research. You don't have to wait until your undergraduate program. We believe that our undergraduate students can provide just as much valuable contribution to the areas of research. We have a number of different programs on campus designed to help identify those research opportunities. We spend a lot of time helping students to understand exactly what research is. Many students, when they think of research, think of someone in a lab coat, understandably. However, research occurs in every discipline here at Virginia Tech. We have research that's ongoing in our theater arts department, in our music department, and engineering, and our Pamplin College of Business. So you can get involved in research no matter what your major is. We also try to provide travel support to our students involved in undergraduate research. This is because our students are doing excellent work in undergraduate research and have opportunities to present their research across the country and across the world. We don't want to let finances prevent students from sharing this important work, and so we do provide support for students for that. More specifically, we have a few additional programs that help support undergraduate research, such as MAOP, the Minority Academic Opportunities Program, which is designed to help some of our underrepresented, underserved students better get engaged with research and support their ability to go on to graduate school. Another resource that I would like to talk with you about is provided through a department here on campus that we call University Studies. University Studies is the academic home for students who are undecided about their major. So yes, they come into the institution as an undecided student, and we help them to figure out how their skills, interests, and abilities map against the possible majors here at Virginia Tech, and then those students are able to transition into those majors. And no, the good news is that it doesn't take these students any longer to graduate. They're taking degree applicable courses from the beginning, and we're going to try to help those students to move on as quickly as possible. Another valuable resource that's available within University Studies would be transitional advising. We have found that there are some students who need additional resources or need information transitioning between majors, and so maybe they don't have an identified advisor. And so University Studies provides advising to any student at any time to help them best transition into their majors. Those are just a couple of resources. Again, other resources that might be available that you'd be interested in hearing about: the Writing Center, which provides support to our students who may need some assistance with improving their writing skills; the Office of Veteran Services, which provides benefit support and programming support to veterans and military dependent students; Transfer Student Initiatives, which provides programming and assistance in helping our students transition from other institutions to here at Virginia Tech; Financial Wellness, which may seem odd, but we found that many students might need a little bit of help better understanding how to make those dining dollars last the entire semester; and lastly, Student Engagement. Research shows us that the most successful students are students who are engaged at the institution, whether that be through clubs and organizations, undergraduate research, study abroad, co-op, or internships. And so all of those resources we want to make available to you as a Virginia Tech student. What I believe to be the most important resource that you will have as a Hokie is your academic advisor. An academic advisor is not someone who simply hands you a schedule and calls you in if your grades are slipping. That might be similar to a guidance counselor in high school. But advisors here at Virginia Tech are professionals who advocate on your behalf and assist you in progressing through your degree requirements. There are three main functions of an academic advisor. Number one, the academic advisor is here to help you and serve as an advocate. You should know that there is going to be at least one person on this campus who has a personal relationship with you, knows you well, knows your interests, and is willing and prepared to connect you to the resources on campus. That would be your academic advisor. The advisor also works as a coach or a mentor who helps guide you through academic policies, deadlines. They often listen to your concerns and offer advice. Ultimately, in the end, helping you to prepare an academic plan for success. Third, the advisor works as an educator or an instructor who teaches you strategies for success and helps you to understand your curriculum, the purpose of your academic program, and encourages them to engage in problem solving, critical thinking, and decision making. Simply put, academic advising is a key resource to improving student success in college. I mentioned a number of resources to you throughout this presentation, but it is the academic advisor who will be best positioned to refer you to any of those resources at any given time. So don't be concerned about knowing or memorizing all of these resources I told you. If you focus on developing that relationship with your academic advisor, they will be best positioned to refer you on and to provide support. So I started out earlier telling you that academic success is a partnership. And I've clearly outlined what resources and strategies we have available here for you at Virginia Tech. But I also wanted to share with you 10 habits of successful students, just to get you thinking and just to understand what your area of responsibilities might include. So the 10 habits of successful students include, number 1, you have to get organized. Number 2, don't try to multitask. I know in high school it seems like we can do about 5 or 6 different things at one time. But again, research shows us that focusing on one thing at a time is probably most productive. Divide it up. That just simply means you're going to have a lot of work, a lot of reading, a lot of papers, a lot of things to get involved in. And so it's easy to attack your academic work by breaking it up into smaller lumps, into manageable tasks that you can complete. Number 4, it's going to sound silly, but sleep. Many of our first-year college students are so excited, taking advantage of everything that's going on, from the football games to the extracurricular activities to clubs and organizations, that they forget about some of the most important things regarding taking care of themselves. So sleep, and I would also add exercise. Number 5, you're going to need to set a schedule. It's very easy to procrastinate in college. It's very easy to push off some of your tasks. But developing a schedule helps you to stay focused. Number 6, take notes. During class, you'll have the opportunity to hear many lectures, and sometimes those lectures are actually even provided online. But taking notes allows you to reinforce your learning and allows you to process the information at a deeper level. Number 7, sounds like the obvious, but you have to study. I know I hear from students all the time in their first year, but I didn't have to study in high school. Those are different types. In college, you're going to have different types of experiences that require you to study. And again, you must stick to a standardized schedule for that study. Just to give you an idea, there is this little rule, that we sometimes apply in college that says for every credit hour that you're enrolled in class, which is generally about 15, you should be engaged in studying 2 to 3 hours each week outside of class. So that means students could be studying anywhere from 30 to 45 hours a week outside of the classroom. Manage your study space. That simply means you're going to have to identify the best place to study. For some students, that is their residence hall. For some students, it's not their residence hall. And we will have lots of other opportunities or spaces available for you to find those spaces, including the library and other academic buildings on campus. Find a study group. Maybe in the past, you've been used to studying alone, but we find that students learn better and are better engaged when they find study groups to work with to better process their information. Lastly, don't be afraid to ask questions. Questions are critically important, and we expect that you're going to ask questions. In fact, if you don't ask questions, we're going to be a little bit concerned, because asking questions is how we can figure out what you need assistance with. So again, just as wrapping up, these are some of the resources that we have available because we want to make you successful. Your success will be our success. I also hope that you have an opportunity to review some of those 10 steps or 10 strategies for being a successful college student. At this time, I'd like to open it up for questions. Will I have my own advisor? Yes, every student at Virginia Tech will have an advisor identified for them. Usually around the beginning of August, every student on campus, every new student particularly, will receive an email indicating who their advisor is and how to reach that advisor. In addition, through our student information system called Hokie SPA, a student will be able to log into that system and find out exactly who their advisor is. Students typically maintain the same advisor unless they change their major. If a student changes majors, they will be assigned a new advisor in the new department. We have another question. Will I meet my advisor during summer orientation? Typically, during our summer orientation process, we meet with students and help them to develop their schedules. However, it is not the norm for you to meet with your advisor during the summer. You will meet with an advisor, it just may not be your assigned advisor within your department. You will figure out your assigned advisor again later, closer to August. Next question. How many students does an advisor have? Well, that ranges. It depends on what type of advisor you have, and you may have different types of advisors throughout your academic career. There are two primary types of advisors: faculty advisors and professional advisors. Faculty advisors are just that, faculty members who are teaching and doing research, but they also serve a smaller group of students. Professional advisors are individuals whose full-time responsibility is to be an academic advisor and serve as a resource and advocate for their students. Clearly, a professional advisor would typically have a larger load of students. Generally speaking, we try to ensure that each professional advisor has no more than 300 advisees at a given time. Again, it does vary, but that is our ideal standard. Faculty advisors can have much smaller loads, usually 25 or less students. And again, there's no magic number, so those are just general numbers. All right, can undergraduates do research? Absolutely. I talked earlier about our undergraduate research program, and typically how students get involved in undergraduate research is actually by talking to a faculty member from one of the classes they're enrolled in. Let's say, for example, you're taking an Intro to Sociology class, and your instructor will start to share with you through their teaching some of their research interests and some of the research opportunities they have available. At that given time, any student, not just a sociology major, but any student has the opportunity to talk to their faculty member. Also, we have structured programs that will assist students in identifying and supporting students through undergraduate research. Do undecided students have less resources? Absolutely not. In fact, we put more resources into our students who are undecided, or what we call exploratory. Exploratory students are typically some of our brightest students at the institution, and they are just having difficulty narrowing down their choice of major. For undecided and exploratory students, we spend quite a bit of time helping students to identify their interests, their skills, and their abilities, while also looking for different types of occupational information, career information to match those skills against. Hopefully, by the end of the first year, students have identified their major and are making plans to successfully transfer into those majors. Are there inclusion events for underrepresented and underserved students? Yes. We have a number of opportunities and events available to our students. We have a number of community and cultural centers that are designed to provide a space, a place to gather, as well as programming, not just for those respective populations, but for the entire student population here on campus. We also have a very robust division of inclusion and diversity, which challenges our campus to self-evaluate on a regular basis and figure out how we can improve the institution for both faculty and students alike. How do I study? How do I find a study group if I don't know anyone? Finding a study group could be pretty easy. Generally, study groups form in a class, whatever that specific class is. Sometimes your faculty members will encourage you to work in groups, perhaps if you're having to do a group presentation. So faculty are working very hard to make sure that you get into smaller group sections in order to get to know folks as well as to complete some of your assignments. And so, based on that, that gives you opportunities to meet others for group. Also, we have some group tutoring sessions that are available as well through the Student Success Center. So finding a group to study with will not be difficult. Ultimately, the best way to find a study group is just simply to ask someone you know who has been successful or is being successful in that course. Do advisors talk to parents? Well, it's not typically our practice to speak with parents, although we know parents have a vested interest in their students' success. Here at Virginia Tech, as well as other institutions across the country, we are bound by the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, which says that we cannot share any of a student's information unless that student has expressly given us permission to do so. This is done at Virginia Tech by students articulating within the student information system a passcode that a parent would have to share with us in order for us to share information with those parents. How are advisors assigned? Advisors are assigned based on your major. Within that major, you may be assigned by alphabet. You may be assigned by particular interest in that a particular advisor has. There are a number of ways. It varies across campus. Every college and every department assigns their advisees differently. The question is, can I change majors between colleges? It is possible to change a major, and it's sometimes pretty common that students get here and find that we have a lot of different options available that they'd never thought of in terms of major. What I will say that as a brand new student who's accepted to Virginia Tech, the first opportunity that student would have to change their major is not going to be until the end of the first semester. That is because we want you to get here, to evaluate all the options that are available to you before you make a change. Is there a cost for tutoring? I used to say that tutoring was free, but I had a couple of parents to correct me and tell me, no, it's not free, but it is included in your tuition. So there's no additional cost to you for tutoring. Last question. What if I need tutoring for an upper level class? Tutoring is provided for any subject here on campus. By and large, the most common courses that students request tutoring for are lower division courses that you would take in your freshman and sophomore year, but we also have occasions for students to need assistance in upper level classes. That's less frequent, but we will work closely with the student's faculty member to identify tutors for them. So I just want to thank you all for joining us today. This has been really great. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Ted Faulkner, Director of Dining Services here at Virginia Tech. And what a true honor and a pleasure for myself and my team to be able to provide your student or these student services this coming fall. I have been here at this university for 22 years and seen a lot of change. And boy, what services and offerings we have before you. And we regret that you aren't here on campus today and see some of those services and facilities firsthand. But we thought what better way is to provide you a glimpse and an inside view of what you can expect this coming fall. So we put together a small video clip, and we figured a picture paints 1,000 words. We thought a video might paint 1,000,000. So if we could roll that. Great. We good? All right. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what you can expect this coming fall. And as soon as they pull up the screen, we'll launch into that. All right. So talk a little bit about our services and fabulous foods. I think we're going to have you covered. We operate out of 10 different locations. We have 46 different concepts. 8 of those are national brands and 2 nationally acclaimed food trucks. What's unique about Virginia Tech is we're a self-operated entity. What does that mean? Many universities and colleges look to outsource their food service program, but here at Virginia Tech, we're one big family. And so everything stays within inside this envelope or this institution. You invest in a dining plan, we invest right back into it for services for you. You might say, well, I have strange eating time frames or eating habits. I think we got you covered. In all those locations, we operate somewhere on this campus 19 hours a day, continuous service, beginning at 7 a.m. in the morning, going all the way till 2 a.m. So don't worry, we're there for you. We got you covered. And you'd say, well, on the weekends, we open at 9 a.m., some places at 8, but we open a little bit later on the weekends. You know, why is that? Well, there's not classes. We know you want to sleep in, and you're not going to be knocking on our door at 7 a.m. in the morning to come in there. A deep, broad portfolio of what is offered here includes ethnic food, fast fare, customization. We're very unique. While we have one all-you-care-to-eat facility at D2, we are kind of a retail model-based system. Your dining plans are a debit-based system, and so you can go through those facilities and pick and choose what you want, and the only time we take money off your plan is when you engage us for those services. So I want to talk about the individual dining plans. When you live on campus, you're required to have one of 3 different types of plans: a major, a mega, and a premium. What's the difference, or is there a greater value over those 3? No, there's not. But what the difference is your starting point on that debit-based balance. So in essence, if you had a banking account and you had $500 or $1,000 or $1,500, one's going to exhaust before the other. So it's up to you, and it empowers you as a family member or as a student to make that selection of what best fits for you. This debit-based system affords you significant discounts. All our retail a la carte operations offer a 50% discount. Our D2 all-you-care-to-eat facility, kind of a world marketplace setting, offers you 2/3 off that door price. So if you go online, look at some of our menus, know that you get 50% off all locations, including our 8 national brands, which include in that portfolio some of the first on any college and university. We had the first Au Bon Pain, the first Qdoba, the first Bruegger's Bagels. We have the busiest Chick-fil-A in the country at any college and university. We have a Dunkin' Donuts and a Pizza Hut and a Freshens and a Jamba Juice. All those you can use with your dining plan. If you start running low on fees, just know you can add additional monies. And with the discounts of 50% off, 2/3 off, it really doubles your spend. So if you put 20 additional dollars on, it spends like 40 or 60 depending on where you use that. And you can do that remotely, electronically, cash to card machine, or at the Hokie Passport office. The easiest way right now is to do it online, and within probably 20 to 30 seconds after making that transaction or that deposit, it's live and available to you, the student, or your student. All right, let's continue on. We know dietary needs, maybe some allergens or dietary restrictions, religious beliefs, might put you in a lane for food items that you desire. We got you covered there as well. We believe we have the most progressive software program available across the country at all college and university. You can see yesterday's menu, today's menu, and 5 days in advance. Any location of our 46, including the 2 food trucks, you know what they're offering. So once you get your class schedule and you know where you're going to be in pocket on a Tuesday afternoon at a certain time, you can look at that dining center, look at the menu offerings, and proactively decide what you might want to eat. It will give you calories, fat content, sugar, anything with regards to nutritional. One thing that's really important, and I would encourage you if you have a dietary restriction, is to look at that email address, yes@vt.edu. That's your gateway to start dialogue with our 2 registered dietitians solely dedicated to work with you in dining services. They oversee an allergen filter. And so if you have an allergen, you can program it and say, I have a soy allergen. And it will plug in and you know where you're going. It will show you every menu item that contains soy if you program it that way. Or you can program it to show you items that don't contain soy. And so you can see any menu item that you might want to select from with regards to that. And that is active live time at all time for a 7-day run. All right, sustainability. We also recognize sustainability is really important in today's world. We all want to be great to Mother Earth. We have our own 6.5-acre farm. It isn't a garden, it is a farm. It produces over 50,000 pounds of produce annually. We do food preservation with that, and so when we're harvesting it in the summer and early fall, we're also preserving it so we can bring it to the plate in January, February, and March as well. We have agreements with great partnerships and collaborations here on campus to bring beef, pork, lamb, dairy, eggs as well. And so we have a deep rooted student engagement through other channels with regards to what is brought here in services. We also believe in composting. We divert over 1 million pounds annually from the local regional landfill, and we take it to a composting facility. Some of that returns right back here to campus. And what better way to know that we're planting, germinating, harvesting, preserving, and if we have some pre-consumer or post-consumer waste, we turn it back to the composting facility, they turn it back to Mother Earth, and it returns back to campus. It's a closed-loop cycle. We also have reusable to-go programs, the green containers, and you can get items. You know, our first option is eat on China and eat in, be in community. Second best option is to use the reusable to-go container system. It's at no charge to you as a student. You just tell our cashiers or the people you're engaging for your order that you'd like it to go, but you want it in a reusable to-go container. And then you use it and bring it back to the dining center when you're finished or when it's convenient for you. At no cost to you, it's really important for you as an individual to get those back to us. And then your third choice is getting it to go in a compostable container. And if you choose that option, be certain that you put it in the right receptacle when you are finished with your meal. Lastly, well, almost lastly, special events. I'd like to tell people that you can eat, we have you for 32 weeks, 220 days, and for lunch and dinner, that's 440 meals. And we are so broad in what we offer that you can eat all 440 meals and never duplicate a center of the plate entree. But with all those selections, we still like to break it up for you and bring you new and special and exciting things. So we have a plethora of special events programmed out throughout the year. And that you can find in any dining center something going on different each and every week. We can do over-the-top great big meals, customer appreciation meals. We can do a traditional Thanksgiving where we're doing hand-carved prime rib, hand-carved turkey for you, slow-roasted salmon, made from scratch mashed potatoes with all the fixing, apple pie, sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie, anything you expect in a traditional Thanksgiving meal. We also have international coffee nights on Friday nights, and we partner with Cranwell International. So we have a self-branded coffee shop. All our beans are purchased green. They're roasted right on site by our master roaster. And we bring you the high-quality cup of coffee from a certain origin or region and tie it with an ethnic flair of food and work with student groups to really make it a special occasion on those Friday nights in that location. And of course, we have some participation where we do some chef series, and we'll teach you some life skills with regards to that. But look for that, and the best way to find out what is going on in dining is to join our social media websites. And so you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and it's always changing, something new and exciting always going on, and it's a great way to know what's happening. And lastly, when you come in the fall, you know, our first big special event, we feed you in the stadium. You get to run through the tunnel just like the football team does right before a game and enter Sandman. And so 8,000 of us come into community, and we feed you in about 60 minutes, put you in the stadium, and have great, exciting program going on in the stadium during that time. So you may have heard a little bit about the program. Very proud of what we've accomplished. We're well known in the state, nation, and worldwide with some of our successes. We have the best food in the best facilities at the best value. We've been in the Princeton Review top 10 for 15 consecutive years. The last 4 years we're ranked number 1 or number 2 with not only the best food but the best value. And so our program, being that self-operated entity, we're here, we're for you, it's your program. We look so excited to serving you this coming academic year. And we're going to open it up to questions for you for some Q&A. All right, the first question coming in. A lot of unemployment is out there, and it says, can I work for dining services? Absolutely. We're actually the largest employer on campus. We employ 1,600 student workers. We're a team of 2,200, and we're forever growing. And not only do we employ students, and it's a great rate of pay, entry at $10.50, we give you a meal voucher or a dining voucher worth $10, so you work a 4-hour shift. You get that $10 meal voucher on top of the $10.50 an hour. And you hear about clubs and a sense of belonging. We often find that occurring in dining services, that you're a member and you're in a team, and some of your lifelong friends that you establish at college and university can be found working here at Virginia Tech in dining services. So not only do you meet great people, great rate of pay, we'll also teach you some life skills with regards to that. Next question, what is the best food on campus? Well, that can get me in trouble. Out of 46, I can tell you some of my favorites. You know, we have a marinated London broil at JP's Chop House over at West End Market, and I like to accent that with grilled asparagus with a balsamic reduction, and they have from scratch garlic mashed potatoes. Can't go wrong there. And have some extra ones. We have a sushi bar. I love sushi, and so they make it to order right before you, and a Tapanaki steakhouse where you can have the full dining experience on Thursday or Friday night and catch shrimp in your mouth and see our chefs' culinary expertise entertain you while you're enjoying a great meal. We make gelato on site. We have 9 different profiles of coffee that offer I think we serve over 7,000 cups of coffee a day here on campus. So I would say if you're looking for something, we got you covered. And how can you apply for a job? Do that online at the Dining Services website landing page. Everything's done electronically. Can I order through Grubhub? Yeah, that's a third vendor partnership that we have with Grubhub. And so you can use your mobile device to place an order, and it is accessible by the dining plan. So you can go in there at our locations. I think 34 of our 46 are now online, and you can customize your order. You place that order and you pay with it, and it will ping you or alert you that your food's ready for pickup. Something really important, there's also a program on there that shows you approximately how long it will take you for you to get your food in queue. What we're going through right now, we're still providing services, and we're 100% online, handling the students who remain here the spring semester, and it's worked great for them. And so it's a very vibrant option for you to use. In a tight class schedule, how hard is it to find a place to eat between classes? Well, finding the place is easy. Business volumes can be a challenge at certain times of the day. 12:05 on a Wednesday when classes let out, Turner Place, the one dining center on the academic side, gets incredibly busy. But if you have an hour between classes, a brisk 5 to 7 minute walk can get you at other multiple dining centers, being Owens Food Court or Hokie Grill or Squires Student Center, where we have multiple outlets. So 5-7 minutes, you can probably be right in the front of the line. If you remain on the academic side in Turner, you can expect probably an 8 to 12 minute wait in the line before you can place your order. Do you have halal food? Absolutely. All our chicken product, fresh chicken product, is halal. Now, we don't have a certified kitchen. We do it in the style of halal, and we've gone to great extent to procure spices and things, sub-assemblies that go into some of these dishes to stay true to the halal way of or style of eating. What is the average cost for a meal plan? Well, you can go online and look at this year's rates for that. The entry rate for a major plan, I think, was roughly $19.08, I think, was the entry, and each plan from there goes up about $100. So $1,900 to $2,000 to $2,100 for on-campus dining plans. Again, it just gives you a different quantity or balance for your debit-based account. Are there buffets on campus? D2 at Dietrich Hall is our one remaining all-you-care-to-eat facility. You go there, pay one price upon entry at the door, and it's like a world marketplace. And so we have Asian fare, Brazilian with a churrascaria, and so they grill the meats on 3-foot-long skewers and carve it right before you there. We have Italian, Mediterranean, Mexican, a European bakery, and a New York-style deli called Eastside Deli. How many meals per week does a Mega Flex plan give me? So you got major, mega, premium. Mega is in the middle. We don't sell meal plans, we sell a dining plan. So you can come and go as many times throughout the course of a day. But on average, a mega plan will get you about 12 dining experiences a week. Between the three plans, 10, 12, or 14, we find a lot of students eat their breakfast in their residence hall with a bowl of cereal or a bagel and some fruit or whatever you so choose. It also allows you to leave on the weekends if you so choose. And don't forget, you can always add money, flex additions if need be. Do you have vegetarian options? Absolutely. We have a solely dedicated station called Olives. It's been vegan and vegetarian for almost 20 straight years. But again, if you go to our website and look at the menu, we have designated vegan and vegetarian fare in that allergen filter as well. But we have hundreds of vegetarian options across our entire portfolio. Does the agricultural college grow your food? Well, in our partnership with the College of Agricultural and Life Science, horticulture, it is a true partnership. We split fund faculty position as well as oversee that 6-point-acre farm to produce the 50,000 pounds. The meat, pork, and lamb that's raised here on campus, we have a USDA food science lab where they break down the carcass and the animal. That's kind of the transparency and understanding where food comes from, but we get USDA graded food from that partnership here as well. Next question, does the dining plan work at other places around Blacksburg? It does not. Our dining plans or anything associated with the plans, those monies can only be specifically spent in the locations we operate. And so we have great town and gown relationships. You're going to be issued a Hokie passport card, and that passport card is, I hear the students refer to it as our everything card. It will grant you access into your residence hall. It will allow you to ride the bus system. It will get you into rec sports or sporting events. And when you use it with us, it has accounts that with the money balances that can only be used here on campus. But that card can also act as a bank card, and that Hokie Passport card has an account called the Hokie Passport account. If you put money on there, you can do laundry, go to the bookstore on campus, and I believe there's over 150 local merchants that accept the Hokie Passport account off that everything Hokie Passport card. Does dining dollars carry over between years or semesters? The base flex plans do not carry over from year to year. Fall remaining monies will roll over into spring, but it's kind of a use it or lose it by the end of spring for the flex base. If you put additional monies or flex additions on it, it absolutely stays with you your entire academic career. So flex additions will roll over not only from semester to semester, but it will be also forwarded over the year. Dining dollars as an incoming freshman would be something probably you would not use your first year. Dining dollars would be something you'd look at as a second or third or fourth year student. Is the only difference in the plans the amount of money you start with? Absolutely. We all have different eating patterns, so there's no bigger discount, no bigger value. We don't believe that somebody should be penalized or rewarded just because of the way they eat. We're all in it together, and so it's just a different amount of money the way that you spend it. Are dining halls open to people who aren't students, and can my parents come to eat? 100%. We welcome them. We're one big community. Our facilities are fantastic. Faculty and staff use us all the time, as well as visitors and guests, whether it be on game day or just visiting in on the weekends. You can use your plan to feed your sibling or your parents on occasion. That might be once, maybe twice in the semester. They are an individual dining plan. The intent and the way they're to be used is for you and you only, but we know when they visit on the weekend, you might like to treat them. So have at it, love to see them. How many food trucks are there? 2. The grill field, kind of a play on the iconic drill field, and the logo and the name plays off of that. Highly sought after by the students. And the other one is called the periodic table. So it's periodically here and periodically there, and it's got a rotating menu. The graphics on it are spectacular. They won national awards just with the layout on it. And 2 years in a row, they are the #1 campus dining trucks found in the United States. Are there new places to eat being planned? Absolutely. We have a great, actually we opened the bids on Thursday, so we're excited about the Dietrich enclosure in Spirit Plaza. We're going to add 200 seats and have a vibrant outdoor center that will allow for the students to be in community and add 200 seats, and we're going to create an urban market. And we hope in about 2.5 years we are going to have another dining center on the academic side called Perry Place, and it will have 8 to 10 new venues over 2 stories on campus, and it should be located right in front of Daring Hall, adjacent to new classroom building. And the last question, are there places to eat inside residence halls? Well, as far as food offerings in the residence halls, no, but all our food is portable, so if you choose to get it to go in that reusable to-go container or the compostable container, by all means, you're welcome to get the food in our dining centers and take it back into the residence halls. We do have one dining center called West End Market that's attached to Cochran Hall. Cochran Hall is a residence hall, and we do have a dining center in there, highly sought after, as well as the Graduate Life Center. We have a small Aubon Pond Cafe in the Graduate Life Center. Lastly, I just want to thank you for joining us here this morning. How excited we are to have new Hokies coming in and roughly 6,500 to 7,000 new incoming students. We're here waiting on you. Can't wait for that day to arrive. Have a great day. Thank you.
for joining us. I'm Shelby Dodd. I'm the Global Education Advisor in the Global Education Office. This is Katie. She's one of our peer advisors. She's a student who works with us to advise on study abroad. Thanks so much for joining us. We're excited you're here to learn about study abroad opportunities at Virginia Tech. All right, we'll get started. So we'll share a little bit about study abroad in general, what kinds of opportunities you have as a Hokie to study abroad, and then we'll take some time to answer any questions you might have. So when you are able to come to Blacksburg, this is where we're located. It's just off of Price's Fork at the intersection of Tom's Creek, and you can come find us there to stop by and say hi. And Katie and I have both traveled and studied internationally, and we're excited to share our experiences today. So Katie will talk a little bit about why study abroad.
So there are a lot of reasons that students name for why they want to go abroad. The novelty and excitement of going abroad, being in a new place without your parents. There's the adventure and excitement of travel, exploring other cultures and having an academic experience different from the experience you would have at Virginia Tech. And also job prospects can play a role in your study abroad experience. So are there barriers to study abroad? The number one barrier that students name is the cost of studying abroad, the fear of missing out on your time in Blacksburg, delays towards your graduation, needing to know a foreign language, and safety concerns. So we're going to talk a little bit about these barriers and how they shouldn't impact your ability to study abroad.
Great, so we'll talk a little bit about financial barriers. So students often ask if financial aid can be applied to study abroad, and the answer is oftentimes yes. It depends a little bit on the specific program that you're interested in, but it's a great opportunity to apply what financial aid you might have to an experience outside of Virginia Tech. And you can talk to our office and the financial aid office about that. There's also a lot of scholarships. There's Virginia Tech college level and departmental scholarships to support studying abroad. And there's also the opportunity to receive a Global Education Office scholarship for some programs. There's also a lot of non-Virginia Tech scholarship opportunities out there, and our office can help you learn how to search for those and how to look into those opportunities. And finally, just some of the different program types actually are less expensive than a semester at Virginia Tech, and if you spend a little bit of time on the front end doing the research, and we can help you with that, there are ways that you can study abroad at the same or even a lower cost than a semester here at Tech.
So the next reason students name are academic barriers. There are study abroad programs for any major, regardless of whether your major is specifically international. Every student can receive transfer credit for a study abroad program, and for certain programs, these transfer credits don't factor into your GPA. So that can be a benefit. Every student can graduate on time and study abroad. I personally did 2 study abroad programs, and I will be graduating on time this May. But the biggest thing to remember is that you need to work with your academic advisor, plan out your schedule of classes ahead of time so that you can fit that study abroad program into your time here at Virginia Tech.
So I'll talk a little bit about some of the safety-related barriers that students and parents might have concerns about. So we want to make sure that all Virginia Tech students and faculty who are going abroad are fully prepared to encounter what they might encounter abroad, and that includes having an assistant director on staff with the Global Education Office who is entirely responsible for kind of monitoring, managing, and training students and faculty related to safety abroad and just ways to be a savvy traveler. That also includes having access while abroad to a 24/7 emergency phone line and receiving support while you're there via email, and also just even before departure about ways to be a smart traveler, ways to be safe while abroad, and then ways to make sure that you're receiving the latest information from the State Department and other official entities about any safety or health-related concerns while abroad. And I wanted to take a chance just to point out the fact that a global perspective really does have an impact on our ability to understand and empathize with people from all around the world, and study abroad provides that. And so while we can have a little bit of anxiety or fear sometimes thinking about the unknown, thinking about a new context, a global perspective gives us the chance to have enthusiasm rather than anxiety about new cultures, And it gives us the chance to move through fear to a place of understanding, and ultimately the ability to really communicate and open lines of communication between people from different backgrounds. So we know a lot of parents and students might have concerns or questions about safety, but we really try to do everything we can to prepare and make sure that that's not a concern while abroad.
So a lot of students also say that they're going to have FOMO if they go abroad. They're going to miss out on their time here at Virginia Tech, miss football games and ring dance and other common activities. I personally believe that the time that you spend abroad is always going to outweigh those events here at Virginia Tech. I think the fear of missing out should not be a big factor in whether you go abroad, because I personally would have missed out more if I hadn't gone abroad. And for those students who do want to stay at Virginia Tech during their semesters, their fall and spring semesters, there are a lot of short-term summer programs and winter programs that students can go on so that they won't miss out on those big Virginia Tech experiences. A lot of students cite the language barrier. They don't know they don't speak another language, and they think that they won't be able to go abroad because they won't be able to get around or take classes at another university. There are always opportunities in English-speaking countries such as the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand's a really popular location for students. And there are a lot of universities in non-English speaking countries that offer classes and instruction in English. So there are always opportunities to study abroad in a country abroad, even if you don't speak the language.
So I'll talk a little bit about the benefits of study abroad. So the vast majority of study abroad alumni from Virginia Tech and across the country report that this is an invaluable experience for their personal growth. It also is an experience that helps to build job skills. A lot of the soft skills that employers are looking for about intercultural communication and adaptability and flexibility, these are all skills that are really valuable when it comes to ultimately searching for employment. And as well, just rounding out your experience, bringing kind of life and color to your curricular experiences. You get to also get to know a whole new experience and a new culture and a new setting, and that can be really valuable when applying your academic skills ultimately in a job. A lot of people do report that this experience helped them get their first jobs, and employers report that they're looking for study abroad alumni as their employees, and Katie can speak to that a little bit.
I actually had an interview this fall for a job where the employer looked at my resume and saw that I had studied abroad, and they asked me about my experience abroad and how that affected me and impacted my personal, my impacted me as a person. And they really liked hearing about how my study abroad changed me and led me to where I was.
All right, so I'll talk a little bit about how and where to go. So there's a few different program types for study abroad offered through Virginia Tech, and I wanted to share a little bit about those because different program types fit different students better than others, and so I think it's important to be informed and prepared, and our office really works to make sure students have all the facts and all the options laid out before them so that they can make an educated decision when choosing a study abroad experience. So the first kind that I'll talk about are Virginia Tech faculty-led programs. These programs are run by Virginia Tech faculty. They're for Virginia Tech credit, so you receive academic credit and grades for these courses, and you're paying Virginia Tech tuition. So this is often a really great option for in-state students who are looking to take that in-state status with them on an experience abroad. Some of these Virginia Tech faculty-led programs are at the Steger Center. It's a site in Switzerland, and it's a beautiful location. You can go on our website and learn a lot more about the center itself, but a lot of different academic areas host their programs, whether for the full duration or part of the duration at the Steger Center. And it's an opportunity to be immersed in a new environment, but a very local, kind of small town living environment. And a lot of students really enjoy their experiences there. There's a little video that'll play just briefly with some flyover video of the Steger Center. Some other program program types. So there's also exchanges. Exchanges are where you go for a full semester, sometimes summer, but the majority of our exchanges are full semester programs. And this is where you will go be at another university while still paying Virginia Tech tuition. So again, this is a great option for in-state students, and it oftentimes means that you can receive a very comparable cost of living and attendance to what you would be paying to stay here in Blacksburg for a semester while being somewhere completely new and taking classes at a university abroad. And so while faculty-led programs are often shorter term, between 2 and 6 weeks, exchanges are for a full semester, and you get the chance to really immerse yourself in a new place. There's also an organization called ISEP that we partner with that allows the opportunity for more exchanges. There's also third-party programs, and third-party programs are run by various study abroad provider companies and organizations, and these can be really great opportunities to customize your experience and to receive a lot of on-the-ground support while abroad. Oftentimes there's on-site staff, there's an orientation provided, you can have field trips all arranged through the third party, and these might be most cost-effective for out-of-state students who are already looking at an increased cost of attendance, but who might want to consider going abroad for a semester, a summer, a short-term program, and getting the chance to really have kind of an all-inclusive experience. There's also a kind of a fourth category of autonomous study, and this is really for the adventurous, for people who are looking for an incredibly immersive experience, and this means you would be applying as what a lot of universities call a free mover, and you would be enrolling in courses at a university abroad, and you'd be applying and paying directly to that university. And so we can support you in doing the research and looking into how you might do that if that's something you're interested in. So Katie will share some statistics around study abroad.
So a lot of people ask how many students study abroad at Virginia Tech. So we have about 17% of our student body studies abroad. That's about 1,600 Hokies abroad annually, and we're really working to raise that number and get some more students studying abroad every year. The top destinations for studying abroad. For Virginia Tech students, our top destination is Switzerland. Shelby mentioned before that we have the Steger Center in Switzerland, and there also are a couple very popular exchange and faculty-led programs in Switzerland. Germany is our second most popular destination. My personal favorite, Spain, as our third destination. The United Kingdom is our fourth most popular destination. So a lot of students who don't speak another foreign language tend to go to the UK and other places. And our fifth most popular destination is New Zealand. So again, another English-speaking country. What class standing do the students who go abroad have? So most students go abroad their junior year. A lot of students also go abroad their senior year or their sophomore year. This all depends on the way your class schedule is laid out and what semester is going to be ideal for you to take classes abroad. You'll see only 2% of freshmen go abroad. This is because most faculty-led programs require a sophomore standing, but there are a few faculty-led programs that are available for freshman students as well. The program choice for most students is the faculty-led programs. They're very comfortable and easy to go on, and you pay your Virginia Tech tuition. Next most popular is third party, followed by exchanges, other programs, and direct enrollment programs. Okay. So study abroad participation by term. Our most popular terms for students to go abroad are the summer session 1. So this is mid-May to late June usually. Spring embedded programs are very popular. Those are programs where the student takes a class during the semester and then does a shorter term trip. These are faculty led, so usually a spring break trip or right after the end of finals in May.
So what's next? So now that you're kind of more familiar with studying abroad at Virginia Tech and what our office does, I wanted to share a little bit about how you can get in touch with us. You can visit our website at globaleducation.vt.edu. You can also reach out directly to our office. I know I'm happy to field questions. We have Zoom-in advising that I'll talk more about in a minute. And we also have the opportunity to make an appointment with our office to have a specific one-on-one question answered by phone, by Zoom, or by email. And we really advise students to think about planning. If this is something you would be excited to include in your Virginia Tech experience, we think you should start planning now and talking to your academic advisor when you come to campus and when you start having those conversations, that this is part of your 4-year plan at Virginia Tech or your 5-year plan, and thinking about how you can include this as a really valuable piece of your experience as a Hokie. So we do have Zoom and advising available this semester. We have a link you can go to, and we have specific hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 10:30 to 12:30, and Tuesday, Thursday from 2:30 to 5 p.m. And you're able to talk to one of our wonderful peer advisors who have all studied abroad and who are real experts here now on the study abroad process. And they can help answer questions, even as a prospective student, about how you might include studying abroad in your 4-year or 5-year plan. Katie will talk just for a minute about her study abroad experience.
So I mentioned that I studied abroad twice. My first study abroad was the summer after my sophomore year, so 2 summers ago. And I did the VT Camino program. This is a faculty-led program in Spain. As part of this program, we hiked about 310 kilometers of the Camino de Santiago. So we spent 16 days where we would wake up, put our backpacks on, hike for however many kilometers a day, usually around anywhere from 10 to 30 kilometers a day. And then after finishing the Camino, we spent 2 weeks taking classes and staying with host families in Santiago de Compostela. So this is a Spanish language program, but it's recently been kind of changed to allow more students who don't speak Spanish to do the program. And then the second program I did was the VT in Spain program. This is another faculty-led program. This one is in Madrid. So I got to spend about 5 weeks living with a host family in Madrid, taking classes every day and going on weekend excursions to all over Spain. And that was a really interesting experience. And I think both of these programs allowed me to have a more personal view of the culture, living with a family in Madrid and doing the Camino, where we stayed most nights in hostel type living in very small towns. So it was a really unique experience to kind of experience the culture outside of the big major tourist cities.
Great. Thanks so much, Katie. So now's the chance for us to take some questions and answer some questions that students might have about study abroad. So one question that we often get is which majors are able to study abroad, and the answer is any major offered at Virginia Tech. We work with a lot of students across the disciplines, across the various colleges on campus to find what works best for them. And sometimes that is a faculty-led program that provides them Virginia Tech course credit for a very specific class. Sometimes that's an exchange that they can go abroad and take a full semester's curriculum at another institution that we partner with. And there's a lot of different options and opportunities. So we say if you're interested in study abroad, you should come talk to us, send us an email, and we'll work with you to find what works best. Another popular question that we get is if a student wants to study abroad, but they need help finding the money for it, what they can do. And so that's something that a lot of students will ask when they come into our office. They'll say, study abroad is my dream, but I don't necessarily have the financial ability to do so independently. And we work with the financial aid office, like I mentioned. So if you receive federal financial aid for certain program types, you can apply the cost, your financial aid to the cost of your study abroad program, and that can be a great help in making this more affordable. There's also specific grants and scholarships that we have databases of that will help you look through. So we received a question if there's a study abroad program for industrial design, and that's something that if you want to go even today after our session ends on our website and go into our program search feature of our website, you can look by major and look by college more specifically to get that question answered, because our faculty-led programs change each semester and our exchanges are open to people of all different majors. Is there a Semester at Sea program? So Semester at Sea is a third-party program, and that's coordinated by a third-party entity. So you would be able to go on that, and we have had several students even last semester and this semester who were on the Semester at Sea program, and they've had great experiences. But since that is a third-party program, they coordinate the logistics and details, and you register your participation with our office, and we'll help you look into that. Can you study abroad with a program that isn't for your major? Yes, you can, and there's a lot of programs that are run by the various colleges on campus that have an open listing, so any student across any college at the university can be a part of it. There are some that are more specific and tailored towards targeted majors, but you can find that information as well on our website or by emailing us. If you have work-study funding, how does that work if you go abroad? Do you have to put that on hold? So work-study, it is an option while you're here working on campus. And so if you're taking a full semester to go abroad, that wouldn't be something you would be receiving to the best of my knowledge. But if you write us a question in an email, I could get that more specifically answered for you. We received a question saying, my academic course of study seems very planned out and structured. How can I make sure I still study abroad? And we get this a lot. Some majors have a very open-ended course of study, but some are very targeted and specific. And we always say that you should start planning early if your course of study is really packed, and we'll work with your advisors and we'll help you find maybe a great exchange that offers a few classes that you do apply towards your major, as well as it'll offer some elective room that you could take some of your pathways courses abroad, for example, or CLE courses. And we work to make sure that you have a sense of what will work best for you. Sometimes a faculty-led short-term program is the best thing if you have a very packed course of study, where that happens in a semester or a spring break. Let's see. How competitive is it to get a spot on a semester exchange? It depends on the exchange and it depends on the interest, which varies by semester. But we have a sense usually going into the semester of how competitive that exchange will be each semester. And you can reach out to our office. We have someone who specifically works managing the exchange partnerships, and they would be able to provide more details on a specific university you're interested in. You can see all of our exchange partners listed online as well. All right, and we have a question, how do grades transfer back to Virginia Tech? Grades transfer back as transfer credit. So if you're going on a Virginia Tech faculty-led program where you're on a faculty member's group, you're in their group, you're traveling abroad with them, that will be Virginia Tech credit. You'll get a letter grade and you'll have that on your transcript as VT credit. All other program types, you'll receive transfer credit. So what that essentially is it's not going to impact your GPA, but it can apply towards your specific courses that you might need. And let's see, one last question. It looks like at the bottom it says, if I'm not fluent in a language, how doable is it to go to a country that primarily speaks that language? I would say it varies based on setting. Katie, I don't know if you'd like to speak a little bit more to that.
Sure. Depending on the program, if you go with a faculty-led program, it's pretty doable to go to a country where you don't speak the language, because your faculty will be in charge of communication and helping get you guys around. If you're doing an exchange or a third-party program, there definitely are times where you'll want to know the basics in the language. But I think in a lot of big cities where there's a lot of tourists, you'll find that not most, but at least a decent amount of people will speak English. I know I went to Madrid this summer, and so many people spoke English in Madrid because it's a huge city and they get a lot of tourists. We have another question for me. How did my study abroad experience influence my overall VT experience? So my study abroad had a huge impact on my overall VT experience. I started out as a math major. I decided to kind of add a Spanish major, and that led me to study abroad in Spain the first time. After I studied abroad, I kept taking Spanish classes and decided that I really wanted to become a Spanish major. So I became a Spanish major. I went abroad again so that I could get some of those credits for my second major during the summer. And it really has changed the course of my experience at Virginia Tech. I made so many friends on both of my programs that I still hang out with, still talk to, and that they've become a part of my life here at Virginia Tech as well. So that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thanks for your interest in study abroad. Please reach out to our office if you have any questions. We're excited to answer them and excited that you're looking at Virginia Tech. Thanks again.
Hokie, 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 high tech, tech, VPI, Solar X, Solar Rock, Polytech, Virginia, Ray, Rye, VPI, team, team, team. Hello.
Welcome to Virginia Tech. My name is Casey Barker, and I serve as a board member. Welcome to Virginia Tech. My name is Casey Barker, and I serve as a board member for the 2020 orientation team.
And hello, my name is Jared Logan, and I serve as the Assistant Director for Orientation and Special Populations within New Student and Family Programs.
We're so excited that you're going to be joining us here in Hokie Nation this fall, and we hope you are as well. So here at Virginia Tech, we have a ton of amazing opportunities for you to get involved, to build community, and embrace the motto of Ut Prosum, that I may serve.
The role of New Student and Family Programs is to create transitional opportunities that prepare new students and their families for academic and co-curricular experiences here at Virginia Tech. We do this by cultivating an environment that embraces learning, diversity, inclusion, and welcoming of all new Hokies.
So our office is responsible for many of the programs that happen here at Virginia Tech that assist you and your family in the transition, which include Welcome Week, Fall and Spring Family Weekends, and of course, new student orientation.
Attending orientation session provides you with the opportunity to get to know the expectations of the institution, learn how to get involved, learn about what VT has to offer for experiences and resources, engage with peer leaders, meet other incoming Hokies, and learn about your new Hokie community.
So during orientation, you'll be placed in what we call a small group with other incoming students that are led by one of our student leaders, who we refer to as orientation team members, or OTMs, like me. They're student leaders who have great insight and experiences that would be beneficial and helpful to any incoming students. During small groups, you'll be provided information and resources that all incoming students need to know, begin connecting with other students, and be able to understand what it means to be a Hokie. So I served as an orientation team member last year, and then I came back in the role as a board member this year because I just loved working with the office so much, and I love working with new Hokies. We really like putting all of these students into small groups so that they're able to cultivate relationships with their OTMs more. They're able to get to know them better during our 2-day orientation program, and they're also able to help follow up with them in the fall and help their transition here at Virginia Tech.
Thank you, Casey. Now, we didn't forget about our family members. Oh no. Whether that be parents, grandparents, extended families, or friends, we know the immense support that whoever makes up a student's family will provide. Because of this, we have an entire program during our orientation program that will help you in this transition as well. During our family program, you will have the opportunity to engage with other new Hokie families and discuss relationships, expectations, communication, and academic and financial management.
So once new Hokies arrive on campus, our office puts on what we have as our Welcome Week programming. Welcome Week is Virginia Tech's premier transitional program with over 80 plus events and opportunities to meet friends, acclimate to being on campus, and see all that the Hokie community has to offer. So some of our events from last year include a hypnotist, a silent disco, movie on the drill field, rec fest, and of course our famous Hokie High Picnic.
The Hokie High Picnic is such an awesome event. There's great food, learning about our football traditions, experience your first Enter Sandman in Lane Stadium as a student, and you cap it all off with a photo on the field with your entire incoming class. There's absolutely nothing like it.
So I actually went to Hokie High Picnic as a freshman, and while I was there, I met some really great friends, just some people that I randomly sat with. I ended up becoming really good friends with them. I learned that they lived in my res hall, and so even just going to one event for Welcome Week, you can start meeting people and start cultivating those relationships and really get your first year off to a great start.
We continue our programming in September with Fall Family Weekend. Family weekends are a time for you and your student to reconnect. Special events include academic competitions, exhibitions, featured dining events, information sessions, open houses, presentations, outdoor activities, and tours. No matter what type of event or activity you enjoy most, we invite you back to spend some time making lasting memories with your student. This year's weekend is set for September 18th through the 20th.
So our office is here to support you and your family's transition, and we hope our conversation today has made you feel even more excited to join us here in Hokie Nation.
So it looks like we have some questions. The first question is, will there be a summer orientation? Absolutely. We truly believe that orientation is a very transformative experience for incoming students and their families. We are very much planning for orientation to happen, getting in touch with all of our campus partners and making sure that everything is lined up for you and your new Hokies coming in. The next question, will we will we register for courses during orientation? Yes, there is a time set aside for you to meet with your academic partners and within your academic colleges and meet with advisors for you to have those conversations. Make sure that you are checking your emails, your VT emails specifically. You'll be getting more information from your advisors in that location. So Welcome Week, like we had mentioned, Welcome Week is during really like that first week before classes start. So right when move-in happens, you'll start moving in and we start events immediately. And we usually have our Hokie High picnic this Sunday right before classes start. So you have the opportunity to really get to know your fellow incoming Hokies and have the opportunity to connect, but also be able to engage as well.
The next question is orientation required? Yes, it is required of all incoming students. If you can't make one of our summer sessions, we do have a makeup orientation available before classes start in the fall.
And to go along with the Welcome Week question, the question part is, can you participate if you are in the Corps of Cadets? Absolutely. We absolutely invite our Corps of Cadet members to join us during Welcome Week, and the Commandant also very much supports that as well. Let's see. The next question, should family members attend? Yes. Please, please, please attend. We love to see our new Hokie families and be able to connect with them and chat with them about all the things of how to connect with their student while they're away, what it looks like to have new relationships with your student, and how you can best support them during their time here at Virginia Tech.
Our next question is, why is it so important that I attend orientation? So at New Student Orientation, you're going to get a lot of information that pertains to your time here at Virginia Tech as a new Hokie, and you're able to make your schedule, meet new Hokies, and I'm trying to think of what else.
Learn traditions.
Yes, you get to learn a ton of new traditions, and like we said, you get to jump to Enter Sandman, and yes, it's very important that you come to orientation.
One of the questions we have is, will orientation move virtually? At this point, no. We are not at the place where we are moving our orientation virtually, but know that we are coming with multiple avenues and options for all of our students, and we will make sure we communicate that with you effectively. When is orientation this year? So orientation is set really towards the end of June through July. Registration will open about mid to late April for you to be able to see what sessions are open. And again, make sure you're checking your Virginia Tech email with that, as you will be getting an email from our registration system, letting you know when you register and how you register, and make sure you follow those specifically. Also, make sure you're checking the website You're In Now What. It has a lot of great information for you just to check in with some things. It talks about move-in, what does it mean. It gives a little bit more of an overview of what orientation is, and also the link will be there as well once we send it out. Our next question is, can parents stay in residence halls during orientation? And yes, we do have an option for families and parents to stay in the residence halls. You will have to make sure that you denote that in the registration system when your student is registering.
So one of our questions is about picking a date for your orientation session. So we get all of our dates from the different colleges. So the date you pick will depend on what college you are a part of.
One of the follow-up questions is, something has come up and I can't go to the date I chose. What do I do? So with that, like Casey was saying, our orientation is set up based on when the colleges can advise and when are able to register you for classes. So if you're unable to come to that, you will just go back into our registration system and see what date your college and or major is registering, and you can pick from there.
One of our questions is, what happens if I sign up but don't attend? You will need to attend an orientation session. So if you sign up for one and don't attend, then you will need to come to make up orientation.
So another question we have is orientation on a weekend or a weekday. We do our orientations during the weekdays, Monday through Thursdays, with Fridays being our transfer student orientations. And how many days is orientation? Orientation is about a 1.5 day session, with the first day of you really having a university welcome. You get to go into your small groups. You hear about some of the other opportunities and resources on campus, and then hear from some very important resources as well in different sessions. And then your day 2 session is really made up of your academic advising, where you meet with your academic college specifically.
So one of our questions is, do I get to do fun icebreakers? And yes, here at orientation, we're all about doing fun icebreakers and really making sure that new students are able to get to know each other as well as their OTM to start forming those relationships.
Another question is, are there multiple choices for orientation dates? Yes, absolutely. So your college and our office work collaboratively to decide what days are available for different majors and the colleges specifically. So yes, once you go into the registration system, you'll be able to see the different dates for your major and for your academic college.
So one of our questions is, how many days is orientation? So the program starts on day 1 at around 9 a.m. and then the students will stay overnight in a residence hall and finish around 2 o'clock on the next day. So it's about a day and a half.
Another question is, where is the schedule for orientation? We recommend that you download our Hokies on Track app. It is on both Apple and Android products. So make sure you download that. Our schedule is not out yet, but you can very much go in and kind of explore what the app looks like. And we are hoping to get the schedule up in about mid-May. So you'll be able to see that and be able to interact with that on the app.
So one of the questions is, what can the family members expect during orientation, and are there programs available for them? Yes, there are a ton of programs, as Jared mentioned earlier, about supporting your new Hokie, some financial aspects, what you can expect with your new Hokie coming to Virginia Tech. And then for the other family members, such as siblings, we actually have a program just for them, where they were able to meet with other OTMs and kind of learn about college, play games, and get out of some of the more informational sessions and have some fun.
So another question we have is, what can you share with us about move-in days? With move-in day, that is something that you need to make sure you contact Housing and Residence Life. But what I can share with you from my experience being here during move-in days, there are people called Hokie helpers that are here to help you move in. They'll be wearing blue t-shirts and they'll be carrying around these larger carts that are able to help you unload your car around the sidewalk and then take it right up to your residence hall room.
So one of the questions is, what is your favorite thing about Virginia Tech? And for me, that is 110% the community here. Like, you hear it a lot that, you know, you're part of a Hokie family, but once you get on campus, you really realize just how close everybody is and just how much of a community this campus is. I have met some of my closest friends that have truly become my family members, and just the community here is absolutely amazing.
Next question we have is, can you talk about transfer orientation? So yes, transfer orientation is a one-day session. It's a little bit condensed from our first year orientation, but you get the same experience. So you also come in, we have our university welcome, you have a small group, we talk about community building within your small group, and the other half of the day is dedicated to your advising, so meeting with your academic college, with your academic advisor specifically, and talking about what classes you have and what credits have transferred over for you. To follow up with that question, can you talk about international orientation? Yes, international orientation is set for August 17th through the 19th of this year. Very similar, you will come in. It is over 3 days because there's a lot of things to cover. So the first day is really just moving in and having a quick welcome. Day 2 is really when we get into the community building and interaction with other members of the Hokie community, and day 3 is dedicated to really just adjusting, making sure you have everything you need here in Virginia Tech, here in Blacksburg and at Virginia Tech, whether that means checking in with cell phone companies, banking companies, connecting with Cranway International Center, and then also doing your academic advising as well.
So one of the next questions is, did you get homesick and how did you handle it? It's actually really funny because I like to say that I got homesick for Blacksburg. So anytime I would come home for, you know, fall break or Thanksgiving, anything like that, I would be counting down the days until I'm back in Blacksburg, just because it really did become another home for me. But a lot of my friends, unfortunately, did not have that same experience, and they did get homesick. A lot of them would call their family members, FaceTime them. They would be kind of pen pals and send letters to each other. And of course, going home every once in a while. But we still think it's important that students really kind of embrace the college experience and, try to figure life out on campus.
Yeah. So next question is, what do I need to bring to orientation? First and foremost, yourself. An open mind. You're going to be meeting a lot of really new people, really cool new people, and have the opportunity to engage with them. We also recommend, if you feel the need, we do provide linens in the residence halls, but if you want to bring like a sleeping bag or a blanket, an additional pillow, please do so. Students, if you're staying on campus for first year orientation, and the family members that are choosing to stay on campus as well. Anything else we provide to you, we provide your pens, we provide a water bottle, we provide things for you to write with, but really just yourself, and then anything you feel like you will need personally wise to stay in the residence halls.
So one of the questions is, what advice would you give your parents if you could go back to your first year? And it's not really advice, but more of a heads up to my mom that I will be calling her multiple times a day, every single day, just to kind of remind her, hey, the grass is still green, the sky is still blue, walking back from class. And also kind of a random thing, but I always like to tell family members this. I would tell my mom not to send me with as many cans of random food to keep in my residence hall, because the dining hall does provide a lot of options, and I ended up leaving at the end of my freshman year with an entire drawer just full of random soup that my mom had sent me with. So you don't need as much food as you think you do, because the dining halls will definitely provide it for you.
The next question is, what do students/families eat during orientation, and do they get to eat at the dining halls? Yes. So during orientation, we do provide a lunch for both families that are attending the family program and for students. Students do their lunch in their small group with their orientation team member, and for dinner later that day, we do have the dining hall that we have open for students and families to attend. Family members, that is an additional cost to you, but students, that comes along with your matriculation fee that you pay when you accept here at Virginia Tech. So yes, you have the opportunity to explore one of our dining halls, which has plenty of options for any dietary needs that you may have.
So one of the next questions is, what was your favorite part of orientation? And honestly, my favorite part is just getting to meet all of the new Hokies and see how excited they are to come to Virginia Tech. Because I remember at my orientation, just getting to meet all of those other new Hokies and hear about their experiences and what they were majoring in, just really kind of got the experience started for me, and it just made me really happy.
The next question is, how cold does it get during winter months? So it does get really chilly. I'm originally from North Carolina, so I thought I knew what cold was. I do not. It does get quite chilly here, and it does snow randomly in the middle of the day sometimes. So I would always say be prepared to have like a winter jacket, like a toboggan or a beanie, whatever you need to wear. It does get quite chilly, but we survive it.
Yeah, going off of that, make sure to invest in a nice winter coat and some boots, because trekking along the drill field when it's about 20 degrees is not the most fun thing in the world. And also just remember to dress in layers, because Blacksburg weather is different. We'll go with that, where it can be 60 degrees in the afternoon, but 20 degrees in the morning. So yes.
Yeah. The next question, Case, this might be for you. How has your college experience been?
My college experience has been everything I hoped it would be and more. And one of the main reasons it's been like that is because I got involved. So involvement is a huge thing here on campus. We like to have what we call our Gobbler trifecta. So Gobbler Connect, Gobbler Fair, and Gobbler Nights. And that's a huge way to be able to get involved on campus, find those different clubs and organizations, and just really kind of meet your people. So my experience has been amazing because of all of the different organizations and offices like NSFP that I've gotten involved with over the year and a half that I've been here.
One of our next questions is, what should I talk to my student about before they leave? What I would share, and Casey, you can jump in when I'm finished if you have something to add. What I'd share is really have an open conversation with your student about what it means to be at college. Whether you've been to college or you haven't, have an open conversation about what is it going to look like? What expectations do you have? Do you expect to talk to them every day? I talked to my mom every day when I was in college too, even into graduate school. Is it that you want to talk once a month? Do you want to FaceTime? How do you want to connect, and what role do you want to play in your students' life while they're here at Virginia Tech? So just making sure you have that communication, that conversation, so that there's some expectations set, and you'll learn more about how to have that conversation and some of the questions you can ask once you come for orientation during our family programming.
So yeah, I just have a quick thing to add to that. That one of my friends pointed out last year when a family member asked the same question is maybe talk to your students about some of what you might call their cute habits. So maybe leaving some dishes in the sink, not picking up their towel, because while you may think that it's totally fine and you've kind of learned to adapt with it, when they're living with another person, someone else might not think that it's all that cute. And then another thing that you might want to talk to your student about is who's going to be paying for what. Because while the family member may be paying tuition or something like that, you don't know who's going to be paying if they choose to join a Greek life organization or any kind of organization or event that may have fees associated with. So while it may be uncomfortable, you probably do need to talk about finances for that kind of thing.
One of our next questions is, would I stick out if I did not go to orientation with parents or family members? Absolutely not. I attended my orientation on my own when I started in undergrad, and I'll be honest, it is scary to do that. However, it also allows you to have the opportunity to connect with other people and really get to know what it looks like, because you will be here. You'll be coming, once you have moved into Virginia Tech, into your residence hall, you'll be here on your own. So it kind of gives you a little bit of taste of how you want to connect and how you're going to engage with your fellow Hokies and your fellow incoming classmates. But also, if you need anything during that time, feel free to reach out to our office and our department. We are here to support you, especially during orientation, because it is a lot of information. It can be terrifying. We are here to support you, and if you need anything, absolutely anything, please let us know. You can reach out to us at our email address, which is orientation@vt.edu, with any other concerns you may have around that. But again, we are here to support you through that if you are coming to orientation on your own.
So one of our next questions is, what's your favorite meal on campus? And that's a tough one for me because honestly, I love all of the food here on campus. But if I had to say something, I would probably say the infamous chicken parm at Owens.
And then looks like last question, Casey, I'm going to give this to you. What is the one thing you learned or something that you learned in your first year?
So one thing I learned in my first year is to definitely have an open mind and just be open to new experiences and learning new things, because Virginia Tech, in my opinion, is a very diverse campus, especially coming from the small town that I'm from. So I got to meet so many different people from different countries, different religions, different life experiences, and just learning about all of that and hearing all about what they had to say really kind of changed my perspective on a lot of issues. So that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned, is just be open to new experiences.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to hear from us. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us at orientation@vt.edu, and we look forward to seeing you here in the fall.
Thanks.
Bye.
Hi, welcome to Financial Aid Information for New Hokies presented by the Virginia Tech Office of University Scholarships and Financial Aid. Congratulations and welcome to Hokie Nation. By now you should have received your admissions acceptance packet. If you submitted a FAFSA and a Scholarship Central application, your welcome booklet includes your financial aid notification. Your financial aid package consists of one or more of the following: grants, scholarships, loans, and/or work study. So, what's next? Once you pay your matriculation fee to secure your spot as a Virginia Tech Hokie, you will want to create your Hokie Spa account. You will receive an email with information how to create your account. And once created, you can view your financial aid and view any items the Office of University Scholarships and Financial Aid may be requesting to finalize the processing of your financial aid package. Submit those items to us using our document uploader. Our document uploader link is available at finaid.vt.edu. Also remember, as you're looking in Hokie Spa, to accept or decline your student loans. It's not an all or nothing deal. You can submit a request for less than what you've offered, and accept or decline your federal work study if you've been offered that as well. So some information about requested items. The deadline to submit requested documents is June 1. This deadline is so we have your financial aid ready to go for you by the fall bill payment deadline. Follow instructions provided on the forms and remember to sign them. Many forms need both student and parent signatures. The document uploader is the quickest and most secure way to send us documents. Faxing is another option, but it is not preferred. That said, our fax number is 540-231-9139. We do not accept documents sent as email attachments, so please do not send them via email. We will respond with an email letting you know you need to use the document uploader or send them by fax. Also, please note that not every student has additional documents to submit for financial aid processing. And know, too, that sometimes we have to follow up with clarifying questions after you submit your documents. So students, check your email regularly. And speaking of email, email is the way the Office of University Scholarships and Financial Aid communicates with students about requested items. Any sort of follow-up needed after reviewing submitted items, and updates to your financial aid award. Read any communications from the Office of University Scholarships and Financial Aid carefully. And in case you forget, here's a friendly reminder to submit requested items by the June 1st deadline. So the Office of University Scholarships and Financial Aid usually does not present at Hokie Focus. Instead, we have an information table as part of our resource fair. Students and parents come to the table and ask us many questions. But by far, the most frequently asked question goes something like the question you see now. I did not see a scholarship offer in my financial aid notification. Have scholarships been awarded yet? There are any number of variations on this question, but the answer to this question and to each variation is the same. All scholarships have been awarded to prospective students. As such, you will need to make your acceptance decision based on the financial aid package that is offered. So what's the second most frequent question you get at Hokie Focus? Parents and families usually follow up the most frequently asked question with another frequently asked question. Well, what other options do we have since all scholarships have been awarded? And really, to be honest, the response we usually get after we answer the first question goes like, really? Are you sure all scholarships have been awarded? Well, really, we are sure all scholarships have been awarded. And then we get to the question you see here. So there are many options for families. Some use 529 plans or other savings. Some use home equity. And in reality, two of the more common ways families cover remaining costs is through the Federal Direct Parent Plus loan or through a private education loan. So some notes on loans. Depending on the type of loan, there are usually a few more steps the student or parent needs to take. Students planning to use their offered subsidized and or unsubsidized loans need to accept the loans in Hokie SPA and complete entrance counseling and the master promissory note at the Federal Student Aid website, studentaid.gov. Parents who want to use the Parent Plus loan need to apply and complete a master promissory note. Parents complete these items at the same website, studentaid.gov. Students and parents, you will need your FSA ID and password to complete these items. For families who want to explore the private education loan option, we have a search tool to assist you called Fast Choice. The tool is available at finaid.vt.edu. Simply go to the search icon on our homepage and type in Fast Choice with no space. The Fast Choice link is on the private alternative loans page. A few more notes on loans. We have some more thoughts here on loans. For example, when applying for the Parent Plus loan or applying for a private education loan, plan for the entire academic year. Apply for a loan that covers both the fall and the spring semesters. Why? Well, you have the option to borrow single semester only loans, but what we find is that families who borrow those single semester only loans invariably rush to apply for a second loan to pay the spring bill right before the spring bill is due. Of course, this waiting to the last minute causes angst and stress and probably a late payment fee, and nobody wants that. So plan ahead. Apply sooner rather than later. The Parent Plus loan application opens in April each year. We realize that family situations change and that the information provided on the FAFSA may not reflect a family's current financial reality. In cases of significant, possibly unforeseen changes in a family's financial situation, we have an appeal process. Significant changes include job loss, significant medical expenses, death of a parent, and separation or divorce. This, of course, is not an exhaustive list, but it gives you the gist of the significance of appeal reasons. Please know that the appeal process is not a means to negotiate for additional financial aid. The appeal process is for families who are experiencing real hardship. Information about the appeal process is available at finaid.vt.edu on our appeals page. Families affected by COVID-19 may be eligible for a review. However, we will not begin our review of COVID-19 related appeals for new students until June. We will consider COVID-19 related appeals for things like job loss, significant medical expenses, and other similar reasons. market fluctuations, no matter how extreme on their own, are not a reason to appeal. If you would like to discuss your family circumstances, please email us at finaid, that's FINAID, at vt.edu, and a financial aid advisor will be in touch. So this concludes the formal portion of our Hokie Focus presentation. Please know that we are happy to assist you. And of course, because we have limited on-campus staffing, our preferred method of communication at this time is email. If you call, you may encounter longer than normal wait times. Also, please note that our office in the Student Services building is closed to visitors. Congratulations again on your acceptance to Virginia Tech, and go Hokies. So, let's see what kind of questions we have from the audience. So, can I bring documents you need to orientation? Of course you can bring documents you need to orientation. And in fact, some folks have documents that can only be turned in person. Things like citizenship documents, statement of educational purpose, things like that. We have had some questions, because of the current situation about how to deal with that. Certainly come to orientation if we have on-campus orientation offered. If not, we're waiting for guidance from the Department of Education to let us know how we might be able to handle some of these documents that the Department of Ed says we have to see in person. One option families do have, particularly with the citizenship document request, is we have a form on our website that you can fill out, and you would sign it in the presence of a notary and send that in with a copy of your citizenship document. So let's see, how long do I have to accept loans? Really, you should accept the loans before the first bill payment deadline. They will stay on the account until about 30 days into the semester. If you do not accept the loans and later on in the semester feel like something's happened and you need to, you can notify us, and we can put the loans back on to your account. So what if I don't have access to a document scanner or fax machine, especially with the stay-at-home orders related to COVID-19? How can I get documents to you? You certainly can still use traditional U.S. mail. A lot of smartphones these days have options where you can take photos of documents and turn those into PDFs and fill them out and send them to us that way. Our document uploader is Google Docs, so it should still be accessible even on your smartphone. So here's a great question. Do I have to repeat this process every year, the FAFSA and the General Scholarship application? And how do packages change each year? Okay, well, I thought it was a great question, but then I didn't read the second part. I'm just kidding. So yes, in order to be eligible for financial aid, you do have to complete the FAFSA and the General Scholarship application each year. The General Scholarship application, of course, is due in January. We want you to have that done and your FAFSA at the same time. Otherwise, you miss the deadline to be reviewed for General Scholarships. So it can also impact your eligibility for college-related scholarships. Super important if you're an engineering student, because a lot of the engineering scholarships are for folks or for students once they are in their specific engineering major. And what was the other part of that question? I forgot it. You remember? How do packages differ? Well, packages can differ from year to year based on the FAFSA and the information on the FAFSA. So if there's significant change in family income from year to year, that can have an impact on the package from year to year. What can you tell me about using the GI Bill to pay for education? So the GI Bill, really, we have a Veteran Services Office that handles the inquiries for the GI Bill, and that is who you need to contact. Just go to our website, type in Veteran Services, and they've got folks who can help you out there. If a parent is a part-time college student, will the student receive more aid? The short answer to that question is no. We do not, on the FAFSA, count parents in college. This is something that can be reviewed as an appeal, and that is on the appeal form. So if that's something that you would like for us to take a look at, the appeal form is on our website, and you can go ahead and send that in, or send us an email and give us some more details, and we can talk you through it, even let you know if you should go ahead and do the appeal. When you say all scholarships, does this include all of the colleges and honors as well? So when I say all scholarships, I'm talking about all general scholarships. College scholarships are awarded, and I honestly am not sure about the honor scholarships, but I'm 99% sure they're awarded as well. Can my parents and family members call and ask questions about my award package? Oh, this is a great question. So yes, your parents and family members can call and ask questions about your award package. Now here's the kicker, because there's always a kicker. Once you pay the matriculation fee, you are considered a Virginia Tech student, and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act applies. So it is at that point we can only talk to the student about their financial aid award package, unless the student has created a passcode in Hokie Focus for each family member they wish to be able to talk to the financial aid office about their award. So definitely do that, because that keeps a lot of back and forth from happening, and certainly some of the tougher conversations we have to have with parents is, what do you mean I can't talk to you? And you know, that's a federal law, so we got to abide by the federal law. How do I get a private loan? Do you have advice? My advice is to start with our Fast Choice search engine on our website. Most all of the major student lenders are on that site, and their loans for all kinds of circumstances and situations. When is the first payment due? The first payment generally is due August the 10th. The bill will come out in July, usually in mid-July, and you've got August 10th until August 10th to pay that bill. What if the student is 17? Does that matter with FERPA? Great follow-up question on the FERPA. And no, it does not matter. The student can be a 15-year-old college student, and FERPA still applies. What happens to scholarships who do not attend? Well, the real quick answer to that question is we award scholarships to an admitted class, knowing we're not going to get every one of those students in the admitted class. So we're awarding pretty much more than what we have. Where do I find out how to keep my scholarship or scholarship requirements, my grant and grant requirements? That's a great question. That information is in your welcome packet, but it is also, if you've replaced that lovely welcome packet, it is also in Hokie Spa. You can look at each award, click on the link, and the requirements for keeping that award are there. Can I get financial aid for summer sessions? Yes, you can get financial aid for summer sessions. If you wish to attend this summer, you may also be eligible for financial aid for summer. The caveat to that is you need to do the 2019-2020 FAFSA for us to be able to review you for this summer. Do you offer a tuition payment plan? Yes, the Bursar's office has a budget tuition plan. Information about that is on the Bursar page and under Hokie Wallet. Do I need to notify your office of outside scholarships? Yes. You need to notify the University of Outside Scholarships. We have an online form that's on the Bursars page, and it's on the financial aid page. Those outside scholarships count as estimated financial assistance and may affect your award. So what happens if I change my major once I am a student? Would that affect my award? Potentially it can, especially if you're switching a college, because the money that if you've got a college scholarship, that money is specific to that college. Where do I go to create a FERPA passcode? So you go to Hokie SPA to create the FERPA passcode, which means you have to have you have to have paid the matriculation fee. Once you pay the matriculation fee, you get an email with information about how to create that account, and then you can go ahead and do that and set that up, and we'll be able to see it, seconds after you set that up. When does FAFSA open each year? The free application for federal student aid or the FAFSA opens on October 1 of each year. When does the general scholarship application open each year? And when do I need to apply by as a current student? So general scholarship application generally is opening up toward the end of August, beginning of September for each year. And the deadline is generally around January 20th or 21st for current and for new students. Do you still have to report outside scholarships if you didn't receive anything from Virginia Tech? If there's no financial aid on your award, if you let's say it this way, if you didn't do a FAFSA, then no, you don't need to report that, at least as far as financial aid is concerned. But the Bursar's office is still going to want to know about the outside scholarship, because that's how they can put it on your bill so that money shows up. Where can I access the information about my scholarships and financial aid package before accepting my offer? That's all in guest account. It's the same login that you used to view your online admissions acceptance letter, and the information is right there for you. What if you don't accept loans for the fall, but you need them for the spring? Can you accept them later? Yes, you can accept them later, but remember what I said when talking about loans earlier. We want to make sure we've got this stuff on your account before the spring bill is due, okay? So, you want to let us know about that type of stuff in, November, early December at the latest. So remember, when it comes down to our winter break, office is closed, so there aren't folks on campus processing things if you send it to us, say, on December the 19th. What if my residency changes while I am attending Virginia Tech? So you would go through a residency appeal process as a current student, which you do through the registrar's office. There is an application form for that, and if your residency changes, then of course the amount of tuition and fees that you pay would be updated to that new residency status. So when is the bill for the spring semester? Bill will come out in December and it'll be due around January the 15th. So, but I think that's all of the questions that we have. Thank you, everybody. That seemed like that went by in about 10 seconds. I hope to see all kinds of smiling, happy new Hokie faces in August. Have a great Saturday. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to beautiful Blacksburg. My name is Rex Waters. I'm the Associate Director for Undergraduate Academic Programs. I want to talk with you this morning about 3 of those programs, but to get us started, I'd like to give a little perspective on the foundation, the bigger picture of an undergraduate education at Virginia Tech. On the screen you can see the VT shaped, and as you notice, that T has a vertical discipline. This is your major where you take a deep dive, you learn really a great deal about something that you want to pursue the rest of your life. However, that crossbar on the T, that horizontal, is we want you to be able to engage that knowledge and that depth of learning multidisciplinary. We want you to be able to work with people who are in other majors and other fields and work together to collaboratively solve the world's problems. We take a look at the V, we've got that purpose, that drive. We want you to come to Virginia Tech with curiosity, with intentionality, with hopes and dreams. And as you discover that through engaging the experiential learning, being active and engaged in our community. I'm a proud father of 4 college graduates. I'm a double alum of Virginia Tech. I've spent my entire life working and engaging college and learning about that experience. And that's what I come to you with that perspective this morning. We know that our society is ever changing. Exhibit A, our current times. We know that life and work will be very different for our young graduates than they certainly were for me and the families and parents of these graduates. We know that students are seeking a little different direction. They want to learn, they want to grow, but they want that flexibility. They want to work on something that gives meaning and purpose, not only to the greater community, but to themselves. At Virginia Tech, we have a large campus, but is broken into many small units where learning communities are created, and these are networks and hubs for you to learn, transfer knowledge from one place to the other, grow, try new things. And we want our Virginia Tech education to be something that is evolving, it's dynamic, it's current, and we try our best to be nimble and respond to the day's needs and the day's college students. Undergirding all of this at Virginia Tech and as a proud alum is Oud Prosum. And as a college student, you come to campus kind of looking at that self, where I'm serving myself. I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to figure out who I am and what I want to do. I then start doing that in a small groups, either my major, my college, my organizations, and then I go out into the larger world and I make a difference and impact in a positive way. 3 primary goals for all of our students at Virginia Tech. Again, derive that purpose. We want you to be that self-author of your education. We want there to be interdisciplinary capacities. I call them essential skills. Some people call them the soft skills. I've been a corporate consultant for about 20 years, and I wouldn't have a job if people could communicate effectively, worked effective in diverse teams, were able to solve problems and those types of things. So those interdisciplinary capacities and skills are essential. And again, we want you to have impact. We want what you're doing in the classroom and learning in the classroom to inform what you're involved in outside of the classroom, and then the reverse of that. The first program I'm going to talk to you about is the first year experience at Virginia Tech. This is one that's very near and dear to me because I direct this program. This is a course that first year students take, and it's housed in their academic unit. We're entering the 10th year of FYE at VT in fall of 2020, so you will be in that 10th year. And I want to tell you a little bit about why I feel this is really a value-added component at Virginia Tech. I believe in that village part. And so 10 years ago, when the university developed the FYE at VT, it brought a diverse group of people across the campus together, and they all looked at how can we support first-year students in their academic transition to the university. And so there are faculty, department chairs, deans, academic support, program directors, many people who support this community of practice, and it's quite vibrant. It is the foundational course in your major. It is uniquely housed in the major. Therefore, it can be flexible and adapt to the needs of students who are majoring in engineering, communication, music, whatever that major might be. They all have different needs. This also helps you to create an identity and build relationships with your peers that are going to be in the same major, as well as meet faculty and support, academic support and program staff at Virginia Tech that will help guide you and support you through your degree. All of the FYEs are focused on 4 cornerstones. The academic transition is the primary, the best. we've accepted you at Virginia Tech. We want you to be at Virginia Tech. We want you to be successful, and we want you to come, and you need to take ownership of that and feel your role in helping your transition and getting off to a great start at Tech. We want this holistic education. Yes, you will have a major, back to that VT-shaped diagram earlier. We want you to have that depth in that major, but we also want you to learn a variety of different things. Integrity, it's one of the pylons that stand on the top of the chapel at the end of the drill field. It's you're beginning your brand at college, and your integrity is a key part of that, and we want you to certainly nurture and maintain that. And Virginia Tech is I'm biased, but is a wonderful community. It is home for me, and I would certainly hope one day maybe it's home for you. Just kind of scope and scale, so you understand, these numbers are from 18-19. The numbers this year will definitely be larger because we have a very healthy first-year class, but over 85% of the freshmen, the first-year students at Virginia Tech, were in an FYE in their first year. Over 45% of all transfer students were in an FYE at Virginia Tech. These trends are moving up. We're adding some new units. We hope this one day that we will reach 100% of all new students are in an FYE at Virginia Tech. Over 102 faculty teach the different courses across the colleges for FYE. Also, peer mentoring. A number of the FYEs engage a best practice of selecting peer mentors. These are students who were in the major, who went through that FYE a year or two ago and have applied to return and give back. And so they serve as guides and facilitators for the FYE. Over 34 academic units, again, 8 colleges, but some of our colleges break down differently. For example, engineering and business have consistent FYEs for every new student. Whereas the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences, the departments vary a little more. So you've got a music FYE, a psychology FYE, a communication FYE. So you're going to have different units that may have that. Last but not least, I talked about that village, 24 departments. These are large departments: rec sports, Hokie wellness, VT engage, study abroad, undergraduate research. All types of departments provide support and resources for you to learn about and then engage when you're at Tech. The second area is pathways. This is your general education. We all take general education courses when we're in college. A lot of this is the same college to college. There's a couple of things I want you to focus on at Virginia Tech that I feel are distinctive. One, this slide shows the different credits you will need in the 7 different areas. Don't stress out too much right now about that. You can go on the web page. You can see all of this very clearly. But during your time at Virginia Tech, you will have your requirements for your major, and then you'll have choice to take in the general education arena. One of the things that I think is just outstanding about this is, one, there are 45 hours you must take, but there's something called a pathways minor. Now, you can take a minor in anything, psychology, biology, marketing, but what makes the pathways minors unique is they're not departmental, they're topical. So you can, if you're strategic, you can plan to use 18 of your pathway general education hours and create a minor that complements your major or complements maybe the field, the career you wish to pursue. Let's show an example of what that might look like. There are 22, they're relatively new, and I think by the time you graduate from Virginia Tech, there will be many more. Here's an example of one. It's, again, topic, sustainability. Yes, it's housed in a department. There's an intro course, there is a capstone course, but then there's choice in the middle of what the courses you can take to meet the requirement. Each one of these minors is on the Pathways webpage, has a focus, has a whole page dedicated to what is it, why take it, who might be interested in taking it, and then the courses that you need to take. A different one, Visual Arts and Society. And a third, Blue Planet, the sustainability, the water. Certainly something that we're all going to be dealing with as time continues. And here's a way, if I were environmental science major and I wanted to take this Blue Planet minor, it might be a great complement for that. So go to the Pathways website. When you come for advising, you'll find out if any courses that you're bringing with you, AP, IB, early college, whether they will transfer. As long as you've submitted that paperwork to the registrar, Whether you engage online virtually with one of our advisors in registration, or whether you engage someone in person, which I hope time will tell, but we'll help guide you in that as long as you have given us that paperwork. The last area I want to focus on, which I think is really an exciting one, is undergraduate research. Virginia Tech is a Research One land-grant university, and there are many, many elements of the university that involve daily, year-round in research. We want our undergraduates to engage in research. I'm going to read this. I know you can, but I just want to read it because I feel it's powerful. An inquiry or investigation conducted by an undergraduate student that makes an original intellectual or creative contribution. This is you in the next year 2, 3, making an original intellectual or creative contribution to the discipline that you're studying. What an outstanding experience to have while you're still a student. Here are pictures of all students at Virginia Tech. Maybe the Hokie birds not quite doing research, but everyone else is engaged in research around the campus in the different fields, and it can be quite creative, quite unique, and you're paired with a faculty member to work. How does this happen? Well, the Office of Undergraduate Research has many resources to connect you. They promote, they create opportunities for you to meet and greet faculty, understand what the possibilities are. You know, you might say, does this have to happen on campus? Not necessarily. It could. If you create your own experience, it might be something that can happen off-site during the summer, year-round. But undergraduate research will provide that information. They help connect you with people on campus who are engaged in the type of work you may be interested in. And then they'll also, once you've done your research, help you present it at conferences or an annual symposium on campus, and learn how to leverage that to apply for graduate school or for your career path. I know I went through a lot. Excited to have you on and hope to see you in the fall in person. I will gladly take some questions now if there are any. Is FYE different than the first year experience offered in the living learning communities? It depends on the living learning community. If the living learning community is focused to a discipline, then it could be one and the same. If it's like Orion, where it's a collection of disciplines brought together, then it is a distinctive FYE. And depending on, back to that point where each unit is unique in its FYE, in business, for example, it's a 3-hour Foundations of Business course. Other places, it may be a little structured differently. It may be a 2-hour or 1-hour course that's connected to some of the major courses that are in the discipline. So this is something you'll have to engage with the person you work with in the LLC, but it depends. Most likely it's a secondary FYE. Can every major do research? Yes. And this is why it's important for you to come, one, with ideas, but also to engage the office, because the office knows the history of the type of people who are conducting research and have taken on student collaborators in this role, and they can help identify those who have, or maybe you're presenting something that we've not done before, and it's an opportunity for us to seek that out and work with you to be a pioneer and make that happen. What is the difference between Pathways minor and the 200 other minors? Okay, the 200 other minors are housed in a department, and they are department specific. So if you are getting a degree in marketing, then you might want to get a minor in PR. If you're getting a degree in accounting, you might want to get a minor in finance. These are minors that are department, are scaled down versions of a major. The Pathways minors are topical. And again, go to the webpage. There are 22 of them right now. A few more are in the works, maybe here by the fall. But those are topical, and those take multidisciplinary courses, and you can organize those into then having a minor. So you can kind of aim a little more focused from a topic standpoint about what you might want to do. Why might I want to pursue a Pathways minor? That's up to you. For me, there are great ways to supplement your experience at Virginia Tech, to add to your portfolio. So when you go to grad school, you go out into the interview world to get a job. Not only do you have your degree in environmental science, but you have the minor in Blue Planet. You've done undergraduate research on water quality in Southwest Virginia as it relates to some of the past industries you've involved. And so you're putting this package together of who you are and what you bring to the prospective grad school or employer. So I think it adds versatility and it complements your major and maybe your career path. Can transfer credits count for pathways? Yes. This is why it's important for you, though, to make sure the paperwork has been submitted to the registrar. Because what we want to make sure is whether you've taken it at a college in your local community, whether or not it's something you had an AP, that you got the right score, and the registrar at Virginia Tech will say, okay, you have a 4 on your U.S. History AP, this is what it'll count for. If you go back on the website and look at those 7 categories of the different areas you need your general studies courses, you'll see that you can look at the types of courses that are in each of those areas and then say, oh, I have I got a 5 on my AP Bio. Yes, this will count for this biology. But that's up, the registrar at the university is the one that will decide that and then communicate that to you. And if you've done that paperwork, the advisor that you talk to will have it when you do pre-registration. Can your advisor help you with choosing your pathway minor and the options? Absolutely. You have tremendous number of resources on campus. Faculty, you might meet a faculty member in your first year that you go, wow, they're doing some really cool work. That is something I'm interested in. It may be connected to your research or your major, or it may be something that's new for you. So yes, there'll be many opportunities for you to engage with your advisor, other support people in the major, your faculty, and understand what they're working on before you have to decide exactly what it is you want to do. And that's part of the fun and the discovery. All right, let's see. If a student is undecided and doesn't have a specific major yet, can they still pursue a pathways minor? Absolutely. Also, if you're undecided, depending on where you're placed, what unit you're placed in, you'll also be able to take an FYE. But absolutely, every student that graduates at Virginia Tech has to take those 45 credits of general education pathways. And so pursuing an undergraduate, a pathways minor might be a great way of discovering what your major will be. And it'll give you some focus. I think it would be an excellent idea. When can students do undergraduate research? You can start as soon as you get here. It usually takes a little while to get to know someone, and certainly it happens more in year 2, 3, and 4. But certainly if you know what you want to do or you have connections, you can pursue those right away. And it's usually a gradual where the first year you might be getting exposed to what a faculty's research looks like and what the expectations are. And then year 2 and 3 is you focusing in on what you really want to, try and contribute to and work with your faculty member on, and then completing that. So you can the pathway begins right away, but probably your actual that research where you're contributing original knowledge and information, it'll probably take a couple of years for you to do that. All right, next. Can undergraduate students start their own research projects, or do they help research that is already in progress? Both. Oftentimes it is the already in progress because you're going to pair up with a faculty member who's already currently engaging in some type of research that you're interested in. If you have an original idea and you can find that faculty member to partner with, certainly that is a viable option, and I would encourage you to pursue that. The office, again, has great resources to help you determine, okay, my idea is really viable and I need to pursue it. Or my idea might need a little evolution, a little work before it's ready to roll out to a faculty member. Can students get paid to do research? Yes, often they don't, but yes, they can. It depends on the type of research. If it's a grant and the faculty has grant money, sometimes that happens. The Office of Undergraduate Research hires each year a cadre of students who serve as ambassadors, and they work with the students who are out doing the research. So there's a way that you can get some part-time work and still be connected. But most of the research you're doing in the lab, the experience is what you're gaining, but there are opportunities on campus and some in the summer away from campus. Is research required? Undergraduate research is not required. I would encourage it, but it's not required. How much time does research take? Good question, because anything you choose to do at Virginia Tech takes time, and your time is valuable. So first and foremost, you want to do well in the classroom. Your research is certainly an extension of that, and it's like any other commitment, a part-time job, playing intramurals all year long, joining an organization. It's a time commitment, and I think your ability to manage yourself in that time will be a very important part of that. Will research count towards graduation? It depends. It depends on your major, and by that, if you're saying actual core requirements for graduation, you can get credit. You can register and get credit for undergraduate research depending on your major. If there's a research requirement component, then obviously that would count towards graduation. For many, it's going to be maybe serving as an elective within your major or as an elective outside your major and your requirements. How does being a part of the Honors College impact research opportunities? All right, I'm going to defer. You're going to need to talk to someone in the Honors College, but from my perspective on that is being a part of the Honors College, I think doing research would be a highly desirable component of your experience at Virginia Tech. And I would certainly encourage you to reach out to those folks who host that and work with that, as they can give you, I know that our honors students do research, so it's robust for them. Can students work with companies or organizations off-site for research opportunities? The answer to that is yes. Now the question is, how well do you want it to be connected to your education at Virginia Tech? And so yeah, if it's in the summer and you want to find, you've got something in your hometown, or you found something abroad or somewhere where you can, I had a son who went over to Denmark and worked at DIS and did research over there, and it counted as far as putting it on his resume. It did not give him credit at the university he was attending at the time, but certainly it is credible, and it is a component for you to present again as you go to grad school or to your career path. Are all FYE courses the same? Absolutely not. There are 5 essential practices that all the faculty who teach FYE courses integrate into their course. But what makes Virginia Tech unique, and I think this really is a value-added component, is people in your discipline, in your major, are teaching you this FYE. It is connected to the department, the college. These folks are faculty, they're academic support, they're in the college, they know the people that you will be taking courses with, they know the people that you will work with to work towards your graduate requirements. And so it is a great opportunity, back to that large university. This is one of those networks that you build out of the FYE, so it is unique to the department that it is housed in. Are there opportunities for research with ICAT, Institute for Creative Arts and Technology? I don't know firsthand that there are. I would be surprised if they're not. Again, this is where reaching out, send an email to the Office of Undergraduate Research, and you'll be able to get that response very quickly. Do I have to take the first year experience course the first semester? Remember back to that number, 85% took it in the first year, so no, not all did. But we are trying to get to where all of them do. And certainly, as it is a requirement, if it is a requirement in your major, then you will definitely have to take it. What is peer mentoring in FYE? Again, this is where students who've taken the course work with the faculty teaching the course. They serve as TAs, they serve as guides, they serve as group leaders, they serve many capacities. Basically, this is the wise person. They were sitting in your seat a year or two ago, and they have wonderful perspective to help you learn and navigate. Again, focus for FYE, academic transition. Setting up those routines in the first 6 weeks, those habits that are going to lead you to be a successful student, and that's what we all want for you at Virginia Tech. The teaching part of FYE, who teaches it? They range. Full tenured faculty teach FYE, academic support people teach FYE. I'm going to teach at FYE next fall, so many different people at the university teach the FYE, and they teach it again from their discipline, from their unit. I've enjoyed my time with you. I would love to interact with you in the fall. Hopefully we're all here on campus. Again, it's a beautiful day in Blacksburg. I'm going to get outside and enjoy. I hope you have a space to enjoy the day as well. Thank you for your time.